It's right over there. Okay. I'm gonna go into the 7-Eleven over here. It's cookie time. And this is a Randall Scott, Fort Worth Technicolor. Ever heard my song, The Way of Man? I mentioned the word Technicolor in it. It's a Technicolor, as they say. Randolph Scott. Warner Brothers Fort Worth. Look at that, John Ford kind of thing right there. Directed by Edwin L. Marin. It's a collector. Then we come back and get that. David Bryan and Phyllis Thaxter. The story of the Spiveys, there was an actor that went out to Hollywood. He's like a bit role actor, and he did pretty well, I heard. It's a frame store. There we go. My grandfather. Oops, 7-Eleven. I gotta remember thumbnails. So let's see if I can get this out of here. It's a little under $1, but I got it for the story, and I'm gonna eat it in front of you too. I'm trapped by bamboo. It was Pacific. My grandfather was in the Pacific. Pretty sure it was Pacific. There's bamboo here. It's a good sign that it was Pacific. He was a Navy soldier on an aircraft carrier, I believe. He told me that, and it was for World War II in the Pacific. There were 2 wars that went on. There was the Axis and Germany, which was really horrible. There was the Pacific. It was pretty bad. It's a pretty bad war. And that's why I like the movie The Master, which I think that was a pretty good movie. It talked about the Pacific War. My grandfather loved these. He would open them with a little knife, a little pocket knife, and the only thing he would say, his name was Papa Claude, and he would say, all I ever wanted in life was a good sharp knife. I like to put that in the screenplay, but he opens that. It one time caused a conflict within my family. Why? Do we have technical problems? There we go. But he loved these things. He also ate Vienna sausage. Something strange about my grandfather. He also made his own beef jerky, and he was a glove maker, just like Shakespeare's father, but I don't know what Shakespeare's grandfather did. My grandfather was a glove maker too, but he was the main reason why my father made his fortune, and the main reason you're watching this today, and why I'm an actor and a writer and a screenplay writer. Some say genius, a poet. Sorry, the alarm went off. I gotta go check on the sushi. But he's the main reason, my grandfather's the main reason why you're watching this right now, and why I'm an actor, why I'm a writer and musician and poet and filmmaker, and why I'll continue to do this and have the liberty to do it and do it well. Very different than maybe P.T. Anderson, very different than maybe how Hitchcock approached the storytelling, maybe very different than other filmmakers, so we can learn something new. Why I like David Lynch so much, so we can learn something new. We can all learn. On a screenplay, everybody can learn certain things. Gary Oldman would tell you that if you ever met him. He would say, on set, you can learn. You can learn things. You can learn when you read a script. My grandfather loved education, talked about it all the time. He had his own theories about education, but he ate these things. He's also the main reason why it'll work out. World War II is a big deal. World War II is a huge deal, especially to Spielberg. The 2 most powerful men in movie making today is George Lucas at $4.9 billion, Right under him, Mr. Steven Spielberg, at $4 million on net worth. He's producing a peer of mine's work known as Bradley Cooper, who is working on another project for Spielberg. Lucas, of course, has a whole billion more, but that's George Lucas. You know, he's a genius. He created Star Wars. But Spielberg has a fond dedication to World War II, and maybe one of the reasons why he became a filmmaker. But everybody has their hang-ups about certain things. Everybody's a little doing, you know. But when I saw Schindler's List, I was kind of blown away. So I didn't think Spielberg could do something like that. And then, of course, one of my favorite war films of all time, Saving Private Ryan, especially the opening sequence, I certainly didn't think a filmmaker could pull that off, and he did. So I have a fond respect to Spielberg and all the stuff he does, as well as Lucas and all of the greats. We have to say, okay, these guys are pretty serious. But probably Spielberg has many stories about World War II. And the one story that I have that my grandfather shared with me, not a whole lot, is something he would always tell us. He wouldn't tell us a lot, but he said that he could remember that he was on a boat. This was like a aircraft carrier. He could remember through seeing the stars going from one side of the horizon to the other side of the horizon as the boat rocked. That's how he knew. He loved sharing that story. He was very funny. He carried a .38 special in his back pocket until pretty much the day he died because of a home invasion that happened to him. We don't really know everything about it. To him and my grandmother. My sister was able to jump out of the window and into the neighbor's yard to alert the neighbors who came over with shotguns to try to save them. They had voice changers in their throat to try to rob him of his wealth. I mean, he used that money to protect all of us. So I know, I'm very aware that the world is it can be very hostile. And we see that in movies like Saving Private Ryan and some of Spielberg's work. We can see that there is a hostile aspect, and we respect that. I certainly do. Just like I respect the cracker that he likes to eat, and the reason why I bought this and told this story today. I look forward to working with all of you. Probably not going to do is I'm not going to always choose favorites, so I'm just going to like the films that are coming out the next few years just because of the quality of, you know, the films and the filmmaker. I do appreciate all the greats, is all I wanted to say. I just was trying to show my respect, even though it was kind of creepy. It's something about eating those crackers, I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of the peanut butter cracker thing. I was like, how am I going to do this? But I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out as we go. About 40 minutes on the Sushi. This is like really, really good sushi. It's on the other side of that blue sign. It's called Blue Sushi. There's the video. John, the general manager, and I had a dispute because he was getting in my space. And he obviously could see that I'm wearing a mask. So it has nothing to do with the order. I'm sure the order is perfectly fine. But he did invade my space and demand that I, something, I don't know. But I have his business card, so I already showed it to you. They can do that because he walked back there and got the order, so it was just sitting there. So anyway, I got the order. He asked me my name. John asked me my name, and I told him, I'm God, okay? I am God, okay? So, sorry. I mean, I'm not actually saying I'm God, but I just thought it was a name that he would like to hear. Because sometimes they get that answer. I don't know if they appreciate it. The thing is about service is if you own the restaurant or you're a general manager, then you have to be responsible for your behavior. And you have to know that people are out there trying to survive like everybody else. And if someone wants their order and they've already paid for it, then I think that's probably how it goes. And after an hour, and they keep telling me 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, going back and forth, 3 or 4 times. And them saying 30 minutes, and then another 10 minutes, and another 5 minutes, and they only have one order left, and then he goes back to the kitchen, and he completes that order. He obviously does not want to work there, okay? If John wants to work there, then he'll remain working there for a very long time. And that's fine. That's what he can do. But he's not going to work there if he makes people feel uncomfortable, and he gets in their space, regardless of COVID. Or if someone's wearing a mask, or they don't want people to get into their space for certain reasons, okay? It's not that I'm being mean, it's just we have to respect that. And I already stepped back and told him, listen, I'm wearing a mask, and he still continued to get into my space, right? So everyone has their little space. And if someone says, don't get in my space, and then you get into their space, and then they move again, and you keep, getting into their space. So that obviously didn't have to do with the sushi. It had to do with something personal John was going on. Let me explain something to you, John. About 3 years ago, I came home, and my wife, Angel, and 3 kids were gone because I acted exactly how you acted. Now, I'm still human, so we still get emotional. And I understand situations. I understand. Chill out. If someone's wearing a mask, they step back, just say, sir, we'll do the best we can. You don't have to investigate the person and ask of their name. His name is clearly displayed on the sign. General managers do not stay general managers because they're like jockeys. It doesn't work that way. He doesn't own all of Fort Worth. I'm not necessarily saying that I do either. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that if I need the order to be completed, then just complete the order. Don't worry about it. We don't have to all get Gordon Ramsay. He's not a good example. So I do apologize that has to happen. But you have to realize that, there's got to be a reason, for that extra 10 minutes or something when we're already waiting 30 minutes. I had this problem quite a bit with Uber sometimes. And, he's saying, well, I'll find out your name. I'll find out your name. Well, I'm sure you probably will. Probably, maybe not. because I am a person that runs a YouTube show under the name of Cole Spivey, and it's called the Please Subscribe Show with Mr. Cole, my wife, Linda Spivey. I'm Cole Spivey. My wife's name is Linda Spivey. We run the show, and we do restaurant reviews, movie reviews. We do all kinds of reviews. All I'm saying is your restaurant is very nice, and thank you for letting me take photographs. But here's the thing: respect all different types of people, just everyone that comes in. And if someone's wearing a mask, watch the spacing. There's no reason for you to have to get up all close and personal and try to get information off another person, you know? If you treated, you'll say a person that came in and they were trying to be seated and you treated them that way, they would never come back to your restaurant. Be very careful. I know that you have not been doing that for very long. Okay? I've been doing this for about 3 years. I dealt with your type before. And listen, we dealt with your type on the guy that was on the border over there off the Camp Bowie. He isn't there anymore. He acted very similar. It's called being a brat. Okay, it's acting like being a brat. I had a financial advisor from the church come over, and he had that kind of bratty kind of attitude dealing with marriage counseling. I still respect it. We still try to offer him food. You know, those skinny, bratty, you know, go eat a steak and chill out. You know, go watch some Seinfeld. Give Seinfeld a call. Maybe he'll tell you about me. You know, Seinfeld knows everything about me. He watches my show all the time. Ask him. Say, Seinfeld, do you know anything about Cole Spivey? Who is this Cole Spivey? Who is he? I don't know. Don't talk to me about Cole Spivey. We deal with the haters. Back off. Is he a YouTuber? Oh no. You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. That was my Seinfeld. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? No, I'm just kidding. Oh no, they're asking me about Cole Spivey. I knew it. I've heard this in the town. Anyway, just don't worry about it. I know you're in a hurry. The other guy, the Japanese guy I was dealing with at the other sushi place, he was in a very big hurry too. Something about sushi. Very, very, very kind of her.